Hello, everybody. Welcome to Healing What Hurts. This is my lovely co-host, Body Illusion. Welcome. Trying,
Hi.
trying to figure out here. We've already got some stuff in the chat. Healing through song. Is that your other, or is that somebody we
Healing
don't?
through song is John,
Is
and that's
John?
coming through
Okay.
Sheila.
Okay. Good.
Okay.
Okay.
By the way, hi, John.
Yes. Hi, John. Hi, Moon over Miami. And welcome everyone. Okay, this is a different kind of live stream for me. Whoops. Um, and I do have going across the stream the trigger warning. This is going to be about some mental health type things. And if anybody doesn't want to hear that, I suggest you say bye bye now and we will see you on another stream. I do have a
Yeah, come back next
video
time.
I made to kind of explain what's going to happen, and I want to go ahead and play that video. So let's see how I do this. I think. Hello, everyone. There we go. Welcome to Kaleidoscope of Happiness. This is Healing What Hurts. This is just going to be a little bit of an introduction and some ground rules. Okay. First of all, trigger warning. We will be discussing some hurtful and painful things here, but our goal is for us to heal and find our true happiness. Disclaimer: I am not a medical professional. This is not a substitute for professional therapy. I am sharing my personal opinions and experiences. Not everything that has helped me will help every person. Please only share what you are comfortable sharing. I am available for private one-on-one conversations if it's things that you don't want to share here publicly on YouTube. Again, trigger warning, hard topics will be discussed. If this is not for you, please click off now. This is a no blame game space. We are not going to be blaming the people that hurt us. It is about forgiveness and our healing so that we can move on. Whatever happens or has happened to the people who hurt us, that is on them. I am a believer in God, and I believe that God will take care of them. The first thing is to forgive ourselves for what may have happened in our childhoods. It was not our fault. We were not bad children. There is nothing we could have done to stop or prevent what happened to us. The adults in our lives were supposed to love and nurture us and protect us at all costs. We are so grateful that you've chosen to join us on this path towards healing and self-discovery. This series is dedicated to helping everyone understand and heal from childhood trauma, abuse, and to engage in meaningful inner child work. Whether you're just beginning your healing journey or you have already started, we're here to provide support, guidance, and a sense of community. I'm doing this series because childhood trauma and abuse can leave lasting impacts on our lives, affecting our relationships, self-esteem, and overall well-being. Many of us carry wounds of our past into adulthood without even realizing it. This series aims to shine a light on those often hidden wounds and offer tools and insights to begin the healing process. Some things you can expect in this series is an understanding of childhood trauma, recognizing signs of abuse, inner child work, healing our inner child. I want everyone to understand that this is a very personal and painful journey you are about to take. There will be times that you will want to stop the journey. And there will be times when you are excited and can't wait to get to the next step. I will be doing videos on this subject as well as live streams. Have journal prompts each week for us to explore more healing. This is my story. I was raised in the 1960s. I was the middle child with a 2-year-old older sister and a 6-year-old younger brother. My mother was a narcissist and suffered with narcissist personality disorder, unknown to my father at the time. I did have a very loving and supportive father, which actually was very confusing as a child because one parent loved me and one parent harmed me. I don't have a lot of specific childhood memories of the torture, abuse. I do know how it has scarred me. I do know the areas of my life that it has damaged and how that has affected me as an adult. For many years, I blocked out what had happened in my childhood. And if you had asked me up until even a few years ago, I would have said I had a wonderful childhood, which in part I did. My dad made sure that we always had everything we needed: food, clothing, birthday parties, family vacations, big Christmases. We always had his love and support. But what we didn't have was a nurturing, loving, protective mother. I'm not sure if you know what narcissistic personality disorder is. Narcissist, narcissistic, those are terms that get thrown around quite a bit. We are going to do some information on what a narcissist is and a narcissistic parent to help you understand. But it doesn't really matter if you were raised by a narcissistic parent or by two very loving parents. Maybe they were just emotionally immature. Maybe they had not been given the skills and knowledge to be able to raise you to be a healthy, thriving child. And maybe they just didn't protect you from childhood trauma, from abuse. A lot of things can cause wounds in our childhood past. This series is not about blaming those people who hurt us. We cannot go back in the past and change what has happened. Our only recourse is to try and heal ourselves. Don't expect anyone else to understand your journey, because it is precisely that, your unique journey. You have your own unique scars and damaged places, just as I do. What I hope I will be able to do in this series is allow you a window into some of the ways that my childhood trauma and abuse has affected me as an adult. Now, you might say, I don't have childhood trauma. I don't have a bad childhood to overcome. That I had a wonderful childhood. And all of the problems I have in my adult life are simply that, problems in my adult life. For you, I hope that you seek therapy and I hope that you're able to work through those things. This series is most likely not for you. But if you've ever wondered, why do I feel a sense of abandonment or neglect? Why is it hard for me to trust other people? There's all kinds of issues, anxiety, depression, just things that we deal with on an everyday basis that have their roots and stem from our childhood trauma. I hope that you will watch this series. And I pray and I hope that all of us will find a common ground where we can come together as a community and support each other on our unique journeys. Okay, that was very heavy and even harder for me to watch it again after I recorded it this afternoon.
That
I
was
wanted
truly
to
heavy and honest.
Yes,
That
but I wanted to record it so that I could get through it without getting too upset or letting it bother me too much. Let's see. What does she say? Hey, y'all, Keela and I wanted to say thank you for sharing this with us on Mental Health Matters. Yes, we are streaming it on Body Illusions channel, of course, on my channel, Chloe the Chewini, and also on Mental Health Matters channel. So,
yeah, it's not streaming
welcome.
on my channel. I don't know
Oh,
why.
we're not? Okay.
We're not
Well,
gonna say nothing.
welcome to everyone who is watching this with us. Um, I know that it's going to be something that might be hard to hear, but I know how necessary it really is. Hello, D. Audrey Gore. Welcome. Welcome, Lucy's World. I think I've said hello to everybody else in the chat. I want to talk a little bit about the things that we're going to do and how we're going to go about this. I want to spend tonight talking about what is our inner child and how are things that affected us as children, how did we bring those with us into our adult lives? And I also want to do Body Illusion found a couple of quizzes to see if you had a narcissistic parent. I want to do at least one of those so that if you don't think you did, you might hear some things and it may make you think, oh, maybe I did have a narcissistic parent. So the first thing I want to go over here to my notes. Now, I normally, as most of you know, I don't do things scripted. I normally don't have notes. I just talk. But this subject is something that I want to give you proper advice. I want to give you information that I have researched and found. I don't want to just give you generalizations and things that you might think I'm just, making up. Okay. Body Illusion, what do you have to say, my dear?
You're doing wonderful, honey. You're doing wonderful. I'm here to listen and learn.
I am so
Yes, I
glad
am.
that you
You know
are my
I'll have questions
friend,
as you
and I
go.
am so glad that you agreed to be here with me. When Body and I talked about this subject a few weeks ago, she let me know that when I have mentioned it on my channel before, that I have gotten emotional because it is a hard subject. And she said that she wouldn't let me go through this by myself, that she would be here to hold my hand. So she is here for my moral support, but she is also here to support all of us. Okay. This concept of your inner child, what does that really mean? That is our childlike aspect of our personalities. Everything that we experience as children comes with us into adulthood. All of our emotions, our memories, our experiences, all of that continue to influence our adult behaviors and decisions. The inner child is often associated with sensitivity, creativity, and a sense of wonder, but it can also hold on to the pain and the trauma from our past. Characteristics of the inner child innocence is often seen as innocent and pure, representing a time in our lives when we were free from the burdens and complexities of adulthood. Playfulness. It embodies a playful spirit, curiosity, and a desire to explore and learn. Emotional memory. The inner child retains emotional memories from childhood, both the positive and the negative. These can significantly influence our adult emotions and reactions. Creativity. It's a connection to the inner child, can inspire creativity and imagination. Now, what do we do when we realize that our inner child has got issues, has got some problems? There are ways to go about healing that inner child. And one of the first things you have to do is acknowledge the fact that all of us have an inner child, whether it be a healthy, happy inner child or it be a sad, traumatized inner child. Okay. There's nothing
And it can
wrong.
be both at the same time.
It can be both. And there is nothing wrong with you if you are in touch with that inner child. A lot of people are not. A lot of people, for one reason or another, have grown up over the years and have been told, when I was a child, I did childish things. Now that I'm adult, I don't do childish things. I'm here to tell you that the way you heal all those wounds from the past is to let that inner child come out and play. My friend DJ Nico and I have a little saying that when we're together, our inner children get to come out and play. Excuse me. We have found Suno, thanks to Misha from Awakened, introducing it to us. But we have found that on Suno, we can make music and we can take words. Nico writes beautiful poetry. He's turned it into songs. I can pour my heart out into words and it makes beautiful songs. Yeah. All of that is something that is creative and it's something that I've never tried before. One of the things that was damaged in me was even the desire to try to be creative. I had a feeling that if I couldn't be the best at something, I wouldn't even attempt it.
Okay, is that a feeling or is that what you were told?
Well, it's a feeling I carried with me because
Okay.
of what I was told.
Okay.
Um, it, narcissistic mothers live their life through you. So all of your accomplishments and everything that you do has to not only make them proud, but it also has to shine on them that they're such a great parent because look what the child can accomplish. And so if I wasn't good at something or didn't know how to do something, I just didn't try. And for years and years and years, I said, I am not creative. Coming to find out, I'm a very creative person. I just didn't know how to tap into that. And I didn't have the courage to try. And I have a quote somewhere, I don't know what notes it's in, but it says that you when you're trying to heal your inner child, creativity shouldn't be about the end product. It's about the process of
The
creating.
journey.
And you create just for the sake of creating, that it doesn't have to be anything when you're done. It can still be a pile of clay. But if you create it and you feel something while you're doing that, then that is beneficial. So, but we'll get
That's what
into
I
all of
feel.
that
A pile
because,
of mess. I end
yeah,
up with a bigger mess when I'm
yes,
done. I have fun.
I do too. I really, it's like I'm probably not as at the level of my 3.5-year-old granddaughter is, because she's been allowed to explore and develop those things. And I don't feel like I have yet. So I'm like playing catch up. When I do things with her, I feel like she's showing me how to do it. So
I think that's wonderful.
it's been
You
very
learn from each other.
interesting.
I think that's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Okay, the second thing in trying to heal your inner child is to reflect on your childhood and your childhood experiences. Identify any significant events, both positive or negative, that have shaped you into who you are today. Also, you want to identify any unresolved emotions, and these may include feelings of abandonment, neglect, rejection that you've carried with you into adulthood. You need to practice self compassion. And self compassion and self love are things that up until recently have been very foreign to me. I wanted to nurture anything and everything, which went from my plants to my pets to my child to my grandchild to my friends, to extended family, whomever. I would nurture anybody but Echo. I wouldn't care, if Echo had nothing, as long as the people I loved had what they needed. I've learned that Echo has to be taken care of too. And so now, and I'll warn you, when you start loving yourself, the people who have been benefiting from you not loving yourself are not going to be happy with you, because now your focus is no longer on putting up with their nonsense in order to nurture them, and now you are focused on yourself. So be prepared. It can get a little messy when you
Okay,
make,
but are they your true friends? Your true
well,
loved ones?
and
You know what I
this
mean?
is the thing. You learn really quickly when you start talking about pain and trauma and neglect and your childhood problems and mental health issues. You learn really fast who your true friends are, because it scares a lot of people. And a lot of people are like, ooh, okay, let me step away from this situation. And that's not what we need at all. We need people who are going to be able to say, even if I can't understand it, I'm here to support you in it. And
But it's nice that they walk away. If they're not
yeah,
going to be helpful in this journey, you
right.
know,
And also, let me tell you something. Over the years, I've had friendships that I poured everything into and didn't get a lot back in return. But yet, when that friendship was over, whether I ended the friendship or someone else ended it, I always felt like, there's something wrong with me. Why can't I maintain friendships? And I said this in one of the videos the other day, or maybe it was on a live stream. I have one particular friend that I've been friends with for over 35 years. So I know it's not me. I know how to be a good friend and I know how to maintain a friendship. But I have always felt that loss when a friendship has ended. It wasn't until just recently that I realized that, just because somebody comes in your life doesn't mean that's a good person for your life. And I think if you're in the situation I was in, you're going to latch on to anybody. It doesn't matter, who it is or what they're offering you or if they're good for you or not. Just the fact that they're there, you'll just latch onto it. And then when it goes away, you feel a sense of loss. I now know that God not only can bring people into our lives, He can also remove people from our lives. So the people that have been removed from my life, I thank God that they're gone and that I can now move forward, freely. But I have spent
If you're
time,
watching this, folks,
I have spent time upset with myself because relationships have ended, friendships have ended. But I don't feel that way anymore. I know I'm a good friend, and I know I put what I can into the relationship. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Okay. Um, Practicing self compassion and self love. Okay. Engage in inner child activities. Revisit activities that you enjoyed as a child. And that was journal prompt number 2 that I believe came out today. Now, I already had journal prompt number 1 last week. And then this week I had journal prompt number 2. And so I will be doing those journal prompt videos as the series goes along. And of course, seek professional help. If you need professional help, there are ways to get it without it costing an arm and a leg. But don't play around with your own mental health. If you feel like you need professional help, there's nothing wrong with getting professional help. Having someone that you can talk to that isn't right there in your circle and in your situation is really beneficial. When I was going through my divorce, I worked for Walmart, and one of our benefits was something called Resources for Living. And what it was, this was way back before the big C and all the online things that you have now. But this was a over the telephone therapy kind of thing. And you could go on there and you could talk to somebody and you could set up weekly appointments with the same counselor and be able to, go on there and talk about your issues or whatever. And I learned a
that's
lot of
nice.
things.
That's a nice benefit.
Yeah. I thought that I was there to talk about my divorce, coming from the therapist's point of view, finding out that a lot of things that I was dealing with in my divorce were because of my childhood issues. And so that was when I got my first inkling that something must have happened back then that I don't really know about.
But then
And
you got to dig deeper, don't
yeah,
you?
and
I mean,
I
it's not
talked,
just right now. It's
yeah, and I talked with my sister and told my sister, okay, this is what the therapist is telling me. What do you remember about our childhood? What do you think of what she's telling me? And my sister was not able to block it all out. So she had recall of a lot of memories that I didn't have. But by us talking about things, it was easy for me to understand and believe her when she told me certain memories. So the memories that I have recovered are definitely ones that I've been able to back up with my sister. That my sister says they're true.
are
So
you saying you guys put pieces together to
yes,
make
and
okay?
and a lot of it was I don't know if you've ever repressed any memories, but the memory is still there. It's just that you're not consciously looking at it. And so when
You put it in a
someone,
file cabinet and close the drawer.
right, and when somebody says something, you're like, why does that sound familiar? It's like, why does that make sense? And then you can start to go back into your mind and say, okay, something happened around this time or this situation, and you're able to recall it. Believe me, I don't want to recall everything that happened. I'm happy to leave some of it hidden, but I need to bring up the pieces that I brought with me into my adulthood, and I need to be able to examine those. And just like you said about the creative thing, Is it something I believe about myself, or it's something I was told about myself? For
Right.
years, I believed it about myself. I now know it stems from what I was told about myself that was not necessarily true. And that's a lot what this inner child work is trying to decide what things about you as this adult person came from misinformation, came from things or reactions to things that happened in your childhood that really are not true. All of us have this little recording going on in our brain, um, you know, that is supposed to be a positive, encouraging recording saying, for when you get into a situation where you need a little extra encouragement, you're supposed to have a recording that says, you've done this before, you've been here before, you know what to do, don't be nervous, you can do it. I have a recording in my head saying, what do you think you're doing? You don't know how to do that. You can't do that, And I have to figure out how to switch that recording till it's no longer my mother's voice telling me I can't. And
Is
it
that who you hear? Do you hear it? Her voice?
Yeah. And it
Okay.
needs to be my voice saying, oh, yes, I can do this. So a lot of things, you have to stop and think, is this really my feeling? Is this really my thought process? Do I really think this about myself? Or is this what I'm thinking because I'm reacting to what I've been told? Hello, Ark. Welcome. Um, D. Audrey Gore said, I've often thought that I'd like to remember things the way I remember them, not the way they actually were. But with time, I can't help but see my childhood the way it really was. And that's kind of what I was saying in the video, that my childhood was, confusing because I do have good memories of time with my dad and things that my dad did. But then I also have the memories that weren't so good. And for years and years and years, I believed I had a wonderful childhood. And I would have told anybody who asked me about it, yes, I was blessed as a child and I had a wonderful childhood. But that's not necessarily the truth. And,
Now,
you
question for
know,
you, honey. Did you like edit out the bad and only remember? Because our memories, we try to remember only the good. But is
mhm.
that what you did? You just remembered the good and kind of
Yeah. Well, and
slapped it
not
against
only did I just remember the good, but I just chose to tell myself the good,
Ah,
you know. And I don't know. Hello, High Country Homestead. Welcome. I don't know if, um, like I have a brother and a sister, and when the three of us discuss something from our past, each of us have our own perspective of that memory. And I'm sure
okay.
my parents would have their own perspective of that memory. So I think it's easy for us to take that memory and kind of package it up the way we want it to be in our mind instead of how it actually was. And
Right.
I think that's what she's trying to say is that, at some point we have to stop making it all pretty and nice and really look at it for what it really was. And that's not
Okay.
necessarily going to be a pleasant type of thing. But okay,
Yeah.
the next one is establish a dialogue. Create a dialogue with your inner child. This could involve writing letters to your younger self, expressing forgiveness, love, and understanding. This process can foster healing and closure, and also setting healthy boundaries. Establish healthy boundaries to protect your inner child from further harm. This includes distancing yourself from toxic relationships or environments that trigger past trauma. I have developed a dialogue with my inner child. I don't think of her as a separate person. You know, I think of her as that part of me um, that has been neglected in the past, but that I've neglected too. You know, there are parts of my life that she wasn't involved in or she wasn't allowed to be in, that now I have to be a whole person. And that means I have to bring her with me into every aspect of my life. So that is a work in progress. Now, what are
Are you
some of,
nurturing her?
pardon me?
Are you nurturing her?
Yes.
Nurturing? Yeah.
I am nurturing her, and in turn, she is teaching me how to nurture myself because
Good.
that's foreign to me. Taking care of me is very foreign, very, very foreign to me.
Well, to change the subject, kind of, it is Self Care Month this month.
Yes, it
It is
is.
the 24th of this month. So it's a good time to start this uh, journey, you
Yes.
know, being it's Self Care Month. So it's a good time to start it.
Um, okay. The benefits of healing your inner child, one is emotional freedom. Experiencing trauma, abuse, or neglect during childhood can have long lasting effects that extend into adulthood. These adverse childhood experiences can shape an individual's emotional, psychological, and physical well being, manifesting in various ways. Now, these are some of the ways that it can manifest. I already had talked about anxiety and depression, post traumatic stress disorder, low self esteem, difficult with emotional regulation. I suffer with that as well because I was always told you're too emotional. If I felt anything, especially if I voiced my opinion about having a feeling about a certain situation, I was being too emotional and I was overly emotional. And every time I got my feelings hurt, anytime anything happened to me and I had some sort of emotional response, I was the one that was wrong because I'm just too emotional. And
Oh, okay.
I mean, but I will cry during a commercial. I will cry in a movie. Okay. My daughter will 9 times out of 10 look over and say, "Are you crying? Like, what is wrong with you?" You know, but I do feel things very, very, I have a very tender heart and things do make me cry sometimes. But I don't think being overly emotional is a bad thing, but sometimes you can't regulate those emotions and it interferes with your life and maintaining stable relationships. um, and then there's interpersonal and social issues. You can have trust issues and attachment issues, which I kind of talked about that. I kind of attached myself to anything, it didn't matter good or bad. Social isolation. I've never been one to really suffer with that, but I know a lot of people do. Substance abuse. I would say my substance abuse has been food, pretty much a food addict, but never really into drugs or alcohol. Self destructive behaviors. That, I guess, is the neglect of yourself, not taking care of yourself.
Right.
Aggression or violence. And then there's the physical issues, chronic health conditions, the stress and anxiety resulting from childhood trauma can lead to chronic health problems, including heart disease, obesity, and autoimmune disorders. Sleep disorders, had that. Um, let's see. Yeah, okay. And that the sleep disorders can make your mental and physical health issues worse because you're not giving your body time to rest and heal and recover. Um, Hello, Dragon Flame. Welcome. I think I'm missing a lot of people. Ellen Smile, hello, welcome, welcome. Um, Chronic pain, yes, Deidre Gower. Okay. Um, Now, when we are trying to heal all of these things, um, like I said, we have to look back at the past and the phenomenon of blocking or repressing memories, especially those related to abuse, neglect, or trauma during childhood, is a complex and fascinating area of psychology. Various factors contribute to why some individuals may not consciously recall these painful memories. The brain's protective mechanism is one primary reason for the repressed or traumatic memories. It's the brain's natural defense mechanism. When a child experiences significant trauma, the mind may act to protect itself by pushing these memories out of conscious awareness. This process is not necessarily intentional, but is rather an automatic response intended to shield the individual from psychological distress. Now, I know years ago there was a whole big controversy about repressed memories. And there were a lot of not very good therapists that were helping individuals remember their repressed memories, which were not true. And there was a lot of people who got into a lot of trouble because of being accused of things they did not do. I'm not talking about remembering things so that you can act upon that as far as, let's just say someone SA'd you as a child and now you recover that memory and now you want to go and have that person prosecuted. That is something that needs expert professional help to deal with. I'm talking about the kind of memories like I have of just things that are more unpleasant to think about. And so push them to the side. Okay. If you
Right.
feel you have those kind of repressed memories, the serious type, please seek out professional help. And not every counselor or therapist is going to be the right person for you. You may have to go to several of them before you find one that you can relate to and can work with. But please, you owe it to yourself to seek out that help if you need that. Okay.
Well, also when it comes to the mental thing and repressed memories and stuff like that, a lot of people, not saying everybody, but a lot of people will end up with DID.
Yes.
And I know that my son, other, he has DID. So so he works through that quite a bit, but I know
Right.
that
And I do believe that
their
people
protective thing.
um, who have had serious trauma, a lot of people do end up dissociating and then have to deal with that, as well. And these talks that we're going to have, it might be something that has always been there in the back of your mind, that's always bothered you about your past, or even just about a way that you feel now as an adult and you don't know why. You have no you can't put your finger on it and say, oh, it's when this happened I started feeling that way. That's what I hope this will do, is it'll give us a chance to open up dialogue and be able to talk about things and be able to maybe take the stigma off of it a little bit, that there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, I suffer with anxiety, I suffer with depression, I need help with this, I don't trust other people, I don't, let's get it all out there and let's look at it. And that's the scary part, looking at it.
Right.
It's so
Shining
easy
a light on it.
yeah, and it's so easy to keep it hidden away and just pretend like, you're a functioning adult and nothing bothers you. And I think you can do that for a while, but like in my case, other things would bring it up, even though I wasn't trying to look at it. I wasn't trying to deal with it or think about it. And even, as I get closer to God and I study His Word more, it's making me realize that, you know, I can lean on Him. I can do hard things. You know, he'll be there for me, and I'll be able to do it. And I think that's part of why I haven't done it until now at age 62. Look how much life I've lived trying to avoid it.
Right.
What is the next 20 years of my life going to be like if I actually look at it and try to change it? You know, the
Right.
possibilities are endless as to how I will feel about myself. And the whole self compassion and the self love, all of that is going to change me as a person. And I'll be the person I should have been if I had had those things my whole life, you know.
Right.
Okay, I said hello to Dragon Flame. I'm not sure
What's that?
if I know you or not. Doesn't matter. Oh, yes, Dragon Flame Gaming. Yes, okay. Let me get you a blue butterfly
Okay.
wing so you can connect with everyone else. Let's see. Hennessy, the Black Rose, Health is Wealth. Sounds very familiar too. Let me check that one out. Okay, let me do a screenshot and I will go
Sorry,
back.
folks. She was busy.
Pardon?
I said, sorry, folks. She was busy.
Yeah, I tend to not, when I have a guest, I tend to talk to my guest and forget I have a chat sometimes. Then I have to go back and look and be like, oh, yeah, you did have people making comments. Okay. Ellen Smile. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. So thank y'all so much for hanging in there with us. This has been a heavy topic, but I think it's something that, I need to do, and I hope it can help somebody else too. I'm not sure that it will in the long run, but I hope that it will. I know I'm learning a lot by doing the research and trying to um, figure it all out. All right, I want to do the narcissistic quiz that you sent me. Let me see if I can locate that. Because that was really, I mean, I read just the first couple um, questions and I was like, oh, yeah, 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 yeah. I was like, oh my gosh. All right, let's see if I can find it. Now, like I said,
Okay,
um,
folks. Keep score.
yeah, okay, this
Yeah, the
first
body
one
keeps score.
is
The
called
body keeps score. Yeah.
Do I Have a Narcissistic Mother? Okay. And we will keep score only because at the end it does say if you got this many points, this, that, or the other. So you kind of want to know your points. All right. And most of these you're going to answer either yes, sometimes, or no. Okay. Does it seem like conversations end up being about her? That's a definite yes.
Or him, depending.
Or him. Well, this is
Them.
for mother, though. The
Oh,
second
okay.
one is for parent, so it could be
Excuse
either
me.
or. But and my mom, she's the kind of person who will one up you, no matter what's wrong with you. She's got it way worse. So any conversation, always you get her opinion of her issues in there too.
Did it keep you from talking? just because you
Oh,
didn't want to hear
after a
growing
while,
up.
you don't want to even communicate, you know. Does she have intense friendships that don't ever seem to last for many years? That's a yes. And it could be yes sometimes or no. Okay. Does she play the victim? Yes, sometimes or no. Yes. Is she
Keep
quick?
score, folks.
Pardon?
I told them to keep score.
Oh, okay. Is she quick to criticize, yet she reacts strongly when she is criticized? Most definitely. Does she need attention or affirmations all the time? Definitely. Does she show she doesn't understand how you think or feel? Because you're too sensitive. So, yes. Um, does she seem to be frequently involved in misunderstandings? And that is part of what they call triangulation. And that is when, if there are several family members, she will be in the center and she will talk to each family member, but the family members don't talk to each other. So with
Oh, okay.
three of us children, there was always one child that was the golden child that was in her favor. Then there was one child who was the scapegoat, who was the black sheep of the family. And then there was the third person who she would talk about the other two to that person, but not talk to that person about themselves. But it was always,
Wow.
your
What a
brother is doing
dynamic.
this or your sister is doing that. But what it does is it makes it so that you don't want to talk to your brother or your sister either, because they have said such terrible things about you that she has said they have said, but not
Well,
true.
it's a divide and
Divide
conquer,
and
you know.
conquer. Yes, yes, yes. And isolate. You don't need somebody to agree with you and, gang up on her. So, does she give you gifts that you don't want? Yes. Is she able to let you win games, disagreements, etc.? No, she would get mad and quit the game if she wasn't winning. Now, I'm very competitive, but there's a difference from being competitive and not being able to lose. There's a difference. Does she act jealous of you? Yes. Does your mother do nice things for you only when someone else will see it or find out? Yes. Tammy, I'm not sure how many questions, not too many more though. Does your mother make you responsible for her feelings? Yes. If you weren't such a bad child, I wouldn't have the life I have. Is your
Wow.
mother,
Really?
yeah. Is your mother
That's
controlling
exciting.
or tries to involve herself in nearly every aspect of your life? And I'll also add no privacy. You're not allowed any privacy whatsoever. Uh, is she easily offended? I would offend her not by breathing. I wouldn't even have to say or do anything, and I would have offended her. Do you struggle to make decisions about things that involve her? I used to. I don't anymore, but I used to. Does she compete with you? This is so sad to admit, but my husband was 8 years older than me. My mom and I, there's 30 years between us. My mother had the audacity to say to me, it's too bad he's not a little bit older, because he's a little bit old for you, but he's not quite old enough for me,
Wow.
before I got married. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. When something difficult happens in your life, does she only talk about how it will impact her? Does she frequently have to one up you? Yes. I mean, no matter what has happened, it's always worse for her. Do you avoid telling her about your feelings and things that happen? Most definitely. Do you feel uncomfortable with how your mother talks about you or describes you to others? Oh my goodness, yes.
Do we know how many questions there are, honey?
This is the last one.
Somebody just asked.
Do you feel she values you more for what you do than for who you are? Yes. Okay, so I got 22 yeses. All right.
Okay.
I guess we were supposed to get points for the answers. Okay, wait. Let's try this. I guess they gave a pointing uh, rating based on if you said yes, no, or sometimes. Okay, hold
Yeah.
on. Let me go back and say
Yes, sir.
yes
I'm sorry,
to
honey.
all of them so it can score it. Oops. Okay. Well,
So, how many people out there, how many yeses did you get? I'm sorry to ask you this, but
okay.
let's just be honest with each other. How
If you
many
got
yeses did you get?
If you said no most of the time, according to your answers, it seems your mom doesn't show excessive narcissism. If you said sometimes, most of the time, it indicates your mom has quite a few narcissistic traits, and these traits may be impacting you. And if you said yes, uh, may have many narcissistic traits and may be significantly impacting you. Yes, definitely, most definitely. My mom has been diagnosed. Now, get this. She doesn't agree with
Of
the
course not.
three three different therapists that have diagnosed her. She does not agree that she is the one with the problem. All three of us children are the ones with the problems. Now, because of this, Deaudre Gore says, but my therapist thinks my mom is more borderline than narcissistic. That could be
Okay. That
border
could be.
borderline personality disorder has their share of the same types of issues, you know, and
TV
really
only
any
had one no. All the rest were yes. Is that what you're saying?
yeah. So Tammy, you definitely
Wow. I'm
um,
sorry, honey. I'm sorry. This is not funny. That's
Echo. You only had one note. Yeah. Um, she definitely is a narcissist, and I have chosen to cut off all contact with my mom, even though I know where she is. I know that she is well and she's taken care of. And there are several times that she has contacted me, whether by phone or mail. And I just made the decision that she is toxic in my life. When I was going through my divorce and started, looking into this, which was 10 years ago. So this is not a quick, easy process to fix. But the main reason that I decided to cut off all contact was because she was living with us and my daughter was 14 and she was starting to do some of the same behaviors towards my daughter. And even though I didn't have my memories recovered yet, it's like if you know, you know. And
Right.
once I saw it happening to my daughter, that was it. I said,
Right.
no, you are not going to, influence my daughter. So it was a very easy decision for me. Now, my brother and my sister have both lived near or with her and have both had their own issues and have both cut her out of their lives as well. However, I was the last one. So I get blamed for the fact that they don't have anything to do with her. Because what did I say to my brother and sister to turn them against her?
Oh, oh, okay.
She
Okay.
will never take any responsibility at all for
And
any.
that's sad.
Yeah, it is
It
very
would be nice if you could grow and do this journey together with her. But
right. But
if she's not going
she
to look
would
in the
have,
mirror,
yeah, she would have to acknowledge the fact that she has done any of it, and she is not going to ever. Timmy said, you still love that person, yet having boundaries is almost utmost important no matter what. Exactly. I mean, on holidays, other people spend with their families. It makes me sad that I can't include my mom. My sister and I kind of mother each other for Mother's Day and, things like that. We both now have grandchildren, granddaughters about the same age. And so we know that we've become successful mothers and grandparents, and so it's a little easier to deal with that than it was, before we realized all of that.
right? In spite of what
Um,
happened to you, you're
right,
still
right. Hello, I Cherish Church Network. Welcome. And somebody else made a comment I missed too. I wanted to serving my Redeemer. I don't think I've given you a blue butterfly wing. No, I have not. Here we go. There you go. Timmy says, no matter what, it's still that person's fault. And that's why I said this is not going to be the blame game because I could spend, umpteen hours blaming my mom, but I don't want to do the blame game. I can't go back and change it. I can't go back and make her understand, and I'm not going to help myself by having that anger, towards her. So
right.
my mission is to heal myself, um, and know that I was, even though I may not have known everything that was going on in my childhood at the time I was becoming a mother, I knew the things that I always wanted my mom to do. I wanted her to be my biggest cheerleader and to, love me unconditionally no matter what, and things like that. And with my daughter, I have made, hello, Teresa, wounds to wisdom. Hello. And
Hi, Teresa.
hello, Kristen, Bella's Whisper Farmstead. Welcome, welcome. Um, I know that with my own daughter, there's been a couple of times in my life that I've had to make decisions concerning my daughter, and I made them very strategically so as to not cause her any negativity or pain or anything that would impact her life. I've always tried to think, what is not does mama want to have happen, but what is the best thing for her to have happen in her life? And praise God that my daughter is successful and happily married and has a beautiful child and all is well with her. So I feel like we've broken the cycle of having the childhood problems. My daughter definitely does not have them. My granddaughter so far is just amazing. And she has been allowed to grow and develop her own sense of person. And she's a wonderful little person. Um, she amazes me sometimes, the things that she says and does well beyond her years, that she is able to have such empathy and compassion for people. So I am so happy with that. And
Now, question for you, honey.
yes.
When your daughter was young,
Hmm.
did you ever like knee jerk, is the word I'm going to use, knee jerk, and say something that would come out of your mother's mouth and you would go, oh my gosh,
Mm.
my mother would say that. And
Yeah. No.
oh, good.
And I still to this day do not say things that were said to me in that respect.
Good for
Um,
you.
I have always been able to, no matter what I felt about a situation at the time it was happening, I've always been able to stop myself and think about, what does she need you to do? How does she need you to
Beautiful.
react?
That's
Instead
beautiful.
of just my own, reaction to the situation.
Blurt something out.
And I've never been, it asked, one of the questions was, was your narcissistic mother jealous of you? Um, and that's something that she always would say, your sister's the pretty one, you're the smart one. So even though I was overweight, I knew I was never going to be pretty. I might be smart, but I would never be pretty. And my sister, on the other hand, knew she might be pretty, but never thought she'd be smart. And now she's 64 and I'm 62, and there are times that we still feel that way about ourselves, that
Yeah.
she'll never be smart and I'll never be pretty. Even though my sister has ran her own business as an interior designer, who not only designs interiors, but she does complete remodels where they strip the kitchen, strip the bathroom, from the floor to the ceiling, redo everything. And she runs the contractors and all of the stuff. And I mean,
Wow.
that's not something an unintelligent person can do. Okay.
That's a
But
lot of balls in the air,
yeah,
keep things,
yeah.
yeah,
And multi dollar projects,
right.
and she will always be smart in my mind, but not in her own. And even with my weight loss now, I can look in the mirror at myself and say, oh, you've come a long way, your body's changing, you're making changes. But will I ever look at myself and say, oh, you're kind of cute? Probably not. But that's okay, I don't have to be cute, you know but
I think it's you.
I feel bad for my sister, not thinking she was smart. I mean, that's just hurtful and mean that you would,
Right.
you know. But with my daughter, I've always been honest with her. Like for instance, when she was trying to figure out what to go to college for, what she wanted to do. My first thing is, I don't believe kids should have to decide immediately out of high school what to do with the rest of their life. They need to live a little bit, and then
Uh-huh.
decide and get to know who they are and how they handle things before they make those kind of decisions. And that's why a lot of kids go to college in the first couple of years, they mess around and they don't really get anywhere because they weren't ready. But,
Right.
she came up with a lot of different things that she might study or she might do. And although I never discouraged her from any of them, I would be very honest and say, just look at the pros and the cons. Look at what you would actually be doing, you know, 8, 10 hours a day, 5 days a week, and that kind of thing. And when she was narrowing it down, I finally said to her one day, you know, in my opinion, knowing you as a child, watching you grow up, I know what kind of kid you are. I think you should be a teacher. And at first she was like, a teacher? Why would you think that? And I had to explain to her that, first of all, I did not see her working a 9 to 5 job behind a desk in front of a computer all day, because she's the kind of person that if she wants to go outside, she wants to go outside, you know. Um, and I couldn't see her doing the same thing day after day after day. And with teaching, she gets the flexibility of, she is the queen in that room. Yes, she has bosses, and yes, she has certain things she has to do, but she can design that space
Right.
to satisfy herself. And if she wants to take those kids outside to learn a science lesson, she can. Nobody is going to say, you got to stay inside. If the kids are good and she wants to take them out for recess twice in the same day, she can, you know.
Uh-huh.
And then her creativity, she has always had a way that if it was something she had to learn and it wasn't, like you couldn't just read the book and get it, you had to really put your hands on it and you had to really look at it and do it, then that's what she would do. And so I knew she would be able to break things down for kids that learned on different levels and different ways and be able to
Right.
reach those kids. And that's the one thing that I'm proudest of her being a teacher, is that she does not teach those 20, 25 kids in her class as 25 of the same kid. Those are 25 individual kids that all need to learn in the way that they need to learn.
Oh,
And
that's beautiful.
if she's teaching her lesson and half of the class is getting it and the other half isn't getting it, she will stop and be like, okay, you do that problem on your own. And then she'll talk to the others and say, okay, what is it you don't get? What part is ugly for you, or whatever. And
Right.
she'll take the time to see what it is how she can break it down for them. And not everybody has that ability to do that,
Yeah.
or even to
That's
sense that, hey, these kids are not getting it.
an art in itself.
You're teaching it, but they're not getting it, and they need to get it. Now, she works at a very disadvantaged school, and the kids have learning disabilities. She has everything in her classroom, from the gifted child all the way to the one that has to have an aide with them because of physical and emotional issues. The whole gamut, all different kinds of kids. And when they do their state testing, she teaches math and science. And when they do their state testing, this year in particular, she had the highest test scores in the entire district of her school. Not just her
Wow.
school, but of all the schools in that city district.
That
So
district. No.
she
Yeah.
she has a gift to reach those kids. And yes, she'll get frustrated with administration. She gets frustrated with parents sometimes. And, she'll get tired and aggravated. But, it's never at those kids or about those kids. It's always because she's fighting some battle to help those kids. And several times administration has said, do blah, blah, blah. And she'll say, my kids don't need that. My kids need blah, 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 And
Right.
her administration respects her to the point that she is the grade chair for the third grade. She is over all the other third grade teachers. And she is also in leadership, where when they make decisions that affect the entire student body, she has a voice that she can speak for her kids. And
Very
I
nice.
said, you are so lucky, because most people would have said, she's the squeaky wheel. Let's not let her have input, you know.
Right. And
But
she's a kid. She doesn't know what she's talking
yeah,
about,
she's young. But she is the kind of teacher that it's about those kids. It doesn't matter about anything else. It's about those kids. And luckily, her teacher that teaches reading and writing with her, Mr. Freeman, at first, when they first got teamed up together, She was like, I don't want to teach with a man. Then as soon as she met him, she found out that he knows her husband, that he's actually like best friends with her husband's brother, so her brother-in-law.
Oh, okay.
So she was like, okay, I'll give him a chance, And it's like what he lacks in the organization and the paperwork type stuff, she carries both of them. But what
Oh,
she
okay.
lacks in the discipline, he carries. And so it's almost like a mom and a dad because they have
Uh-huh.
those 50 kids, you know, and if she can't handle a situation, she sends them to Mr. Freeman.
Since
Mr.
dad.
Freeman, that's right, go see dad for a minute. Or Mr. Freeman sends them to her. And so they have actually gone to administration and said, you cannot separate us. You cannot move us. We have to be a team because they get each other and they are on that same wavelength that it's about those kids, you
Yeah,
know.
it sounds like they complement each other in a
Yes,
beautiful
yes.
way.
And they have figured out a way to where, and the kids will try them. The kids will be like, trying one against the other or whatever. And they'll find out. I mean, and she's even said, and I'll march that child right over to Mr. Freeman and I'll say, now listen to what he thinks, and let the kid tell him how, oh, but Mr. Freeman said this or Mr. Freeman said that, because she knows there's no way that's what he would have said. But the kids learn
Did
really
you see
fast.
what wounded to wisdom, what Teresa said? She goes,
Yeah.
proud mama.
Oh, most definitely. I am the proudest mama.
You can just see it. She just sparkles when she talks about her baby.
Every time that my daughter has come home, uh, frustrated, upset, anything like that, I always tell her, but you are where you need to be. You can't even
But
think of a better place than what you're doing. I mean, yes, could she get another job? Yes. Could she probably make more money? Yes. But would she have the impact that she's having on those kids? No. Her very first year, I didn't think we were going to make it through Christmas vacation because she worried about her kids. You know, there were some that had such horrible home lives that, that was like the bright spot of their day to get away from home and be at school. And she
yeah,
knew that they were taken care of and they were fed. And when they came in, they were okay. And when she sent them out, they were okay. And when they came back the next day, they were okay. But when she had to go 2 weeks without hearing from them or seeing them, it affected her. And
wow.
that's when she knew, she was doing the right thing because those kids made a difference. Now she's got kids because she's in a school that goes up to fifth grade. So
Okay.
she's got kids that she's taught, several years ahead that still come and see her almost on a daily basis. And she had kids this year that cried. They didn't want to get promoted to fourth grade because they wanted to be in her class again. And she said, honey, I can't hold you back just because you want to be in my class. You come visit me. That'll be fine. Your new teacher will be good. You'll love your new teacher. But it's not like that for all teachers. A lot of the older teachers, especially, are set in their ways and they expect the
They're
parents to
tired.
do the discipline at home and, all these things that, you just about have to be able to discipline them without disciplining them.
Yeah.
So, but yes, I am a proud, proud mama. And I wish my mom would have been 1/10 as proud of me as I am of my daughter.
Well,
Yeah.
I was just thinking about the way your mother raised you,
Hmm.
and then the big step, the way you raised your daughter, and the person she's become and raised her daughter. So, I mean, this is kind of silly, but we're really moving the right direction, honey.
Oh, yeah. That's like I said, my sister and I both, we have broken that cycle. We don't have
Good.
to worry about our kids and we don't have to worry about our kids' kids because now we know now that they're parents themselves, how they're raising their, and I think you always know as a parent, if you did a good job raising your child, but when they have a child and you see them putting things in place with their child that you're the reason they do those things, and you're like, they were actually paying attention. It worked. What I did
They
worked, and
were listening.
I was working for her. But one thing my daughter does do is she lets me know, and she'll always say, when I'll say, you're a pretty good mom. I'm proud of you. You're a pretty good mom. And she'll say, well, I learned from the best. And
There
I'm like,
you go.
yeah, I wish I had had the best. I wish I had. We were actually in the pool the other day, and my granddaughter tends to, if it's mama and granny, they're together doing something, she wants granny to do whatever needs to be done
Okay.
instead of mama. But if granny's not there, then she's all over mama. Okay. And my daughter had said something because my granddaughter was like, no, granny can do it. Get granny. I want granny. And my daughter said, yeah, okay, but when granny's not here, you're all over me. And I said, but don't you wish you'd had a grandmother like that? Don't you wish you had that relationship with your grandmother that you didn't, but now she has it with me, and her kids are going to have it with you, you know? And I
Uh-huh.
said, and at least she's got that relationship with her mama that you've got with me. I wish I had that relationship with my mama, you know? So it's like, even though I didn't have the grandmother relationship and I didn't have the mother relationship, I know how to do it to give it to them. And that's
Right.
what I need to be able to take that and give it to myself.
There
And
you
then,
go.
and I think I'll be fine if I can just do that. But I think I've spent so much of my life trying to take care of everybody else and not look at myself,
Right.
and I think I was hiding behind the food and under all the fat. And, like that was my little protection around me. Nobody
Your
will ever see
food.
that there's anything wrong with me because, this is what they see. And now it's like, I'm going to be exposed very soon. you know, the truth is going to be out there. So I've got to figure it out. But that's one thing about YouTube and the friendships I've made on YouTube. They have given me the confidence to be able to say, I can look at this. I can deal with this. And I can deal with it out here in the open. I don't have to keep it a secret anymore. I don't have to just agree when somebody says they're struggling or they have a problem. I don't have to just agree. That's nice. I can be like, I hear you. I see you. I understand what you're saying, and it be the truth. And that's what I want to do. I want to be able to speak my truth and not have to look back. Positive
And
spoke.
hopefully with you speaking your truth, it will resonate with some other people. And you will be saying the words maybe that they can't say, but they need to hear. So it's beautiful that you're opening yourself up for this journey. It's beautiful. And thank you for doing it.
Okay, Misha says, just wanted to pop over and tell you that this has been an incredible live. So many people are saying great things over here on Mental Health Matters. Thank you, ladies, again. Sending much love. Oh, thank you, Misha. Or Misha. I always say it wrong, but thank you so much.
That's
Um,
how she got the name Ned. No, there was
Ned,
another.
yeah, Ned, you
It
can't
was another
mispronounce
story why she
Ed.
got the name Ned.
Positive Spoke says, but it's nice to not feel that worry and fear of abuse. You're right. You are so right. And there are so many people who could be living just amazing lives and doing amazing things, but they hold themselves back because of those broken records in their head saying nasty things to them.
Yeah.
We got to learn how to talk nice to ourselves. We can talk nice to other people, but when it comes to ourselves, sometimes, they say you're your own worst critic, and you
True.
definitely aren't nice. And I got to learn how to get out of my own way. Sometimes I will, no, 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 you know, and stop myself from even going somewhere, you know, or doing something. And I don't want to live like that anymore. I don't know how many years I have left to live, but I'm going to live every day doing whatever I can to have the best life I can have. And if that
Gusto,
means,
honey. Gusto.
you know, if that means coming on YouTube and crying like a baby, well, then I guess I'll be coming on YouTube crying like a baby. But I want everybody to, you know, think about themselves, think about things that, okay, now he says, I've realized you don't dream as big because of childhood trauma, because you feel you beat everything when you escape it. I've realized you don't dream as big because of childhood trauma, because you feel you beat everything when you escape it. I'm not sure I'm understanding, but I do agree with you that, you know, when you're dealing with those traumas, you don't think you can beat it. You don't think you can dream big and have big success in your life. Um, but that, you
And
know, what?
also, if you get away from it, you think, okay, it doesn't exist anymore. But you took it with you,
Yeah.
that trauma and that. Yeah.
And that's the thing. I've heard a lot of people say, you know, I don't remember having anything happen to me. So therefore, nothing must have happened to me. But why do you feel the things that you feel? You know, it's like if
Right.
you're honest with yourself and you know that you keep having the same relationship with the same crappy partner over and over and over, there might be a problem in your childhood that thinks that's the best you can do, that thinks
It's
that's
not me, it's
you.
them. Right? Isn't that what your mom's always said? It's not me, it's them.
Yeah. And that's the best you deserve, you know? No, no, no. And I didn't realize the first time somebody said to me about my inner child, I was like, I don't have an inner child problem, do I? You know, it's like I think I'm a pretty well adjusted adult, you know. But if I really look at things, I've lived my life as safe as I could. Like I don't take risks. I don't try things wholeheartedly, you know.
Or should you say
I
you did
just, no, I didn't. Yeah. And I would,
it?
you know, let me just, nah, that's not me. I'm not like that. I'm not that person. I'm not this. I'm not that, you know. No. Um, and that's what I want for my granddaughter. I want her to realize that she can do and be absolutely anything. There will be nothing that she can't do if she puts her mind to it. Okay, now he's saying, I'm saying your aspirations and dreams are smaller because you feel you overcame and escaped the abuse. Okay. Okay.
You
You've been
cut it off.
double streaming. Thanks so much. Okay, let me look at your channel. How are you doing tonight? In Carnsole? Not
Uh-huh.
pronouncing that right.
Yeah.
Let me know.
He's a love. He's a love.
Okay. Let me put the
Yeah.
I got so many new friends I got to get over to see their channels. Um, and I do
There's
that.
not enough time in a day, honey.
I know there's not. There's really not. And I really do like to support people any way I can. And so I take the screenshot and eventually I get to their channel and eventually I get to watch some of their videos. All right, here are
Thank
blue
goodness for a
buttons, hot
replay, huh?
wings for you. There you go. All right, we have been on here an hour and I can't even
Hour
see
and a half.
29. An hour and a half. Okay. I wrote a song today. Actually, I wrote two of them,
Okay.
getting ready for this live stream, and I'm going to just play one of them. Let,
Okay.
let me see how I got to go about this. I'm going to try. I'm going to try to do it. Yes. Okay.
I found the cracks where the light slipped through. A little voice whispered you always knew. Broken crayons, a box of rain, drawing dreams in the window pane. No more shadows, no more fight. Just my wings chasing the light. I'm becoming the butterfly me. Colors brighter than I could see. No more blaming, no more shame. Just loving the spark that burns my name. I'm finally free. Butterfly me. A mirror shows the scars I've earned, each one a lesson, a page I've turned. The child I was still holding tight, now she's laughing, she's taking flight. Every tear was a seed in the ground, every loss was a note in the sound. I'm singing now, I'm spinning high, a caterpillar never dreams to fly. I'm becoming the butterfly me. Colors brighter than I could see. No more blaming, no more shame. Just loving the spark that burns my name. I'm finally free. Butterfly me.
All right.
Wow. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Thank you. I just saw that
She taught you well.
PJ's Wish popped in and left a comment. PJ's Wish is someone I met in my true crime days in the very beginning of my YouTube journey.
Okay.
And she is in Texas, and she has become a dear friend. She sent me stuff for my birthday. She sends baby girl stuff for Christmas. She even sent me plants through the mail from Texas. But we talk behind the scenes. And PJ's Wish, if you watch the replay, honey, I love you to death. And I'm so sorry that I didn't see when you were here, because I would have definitely stopped and talked to you. So thank you, everyone, for making this as easy for me. There's Olivia. Hello, Olivia. I was kind of stressed. I wasn't sure, because it's not the kind of thing I normally do. And again, thank you,
You
Body
did beautifully, honey. You did beautifully.
with me. You made it easy, because I could talk to you and not have to hear the silence, So I do appreciate it. I hope everybody has a great rest of your night. I am going to do these on Tuesday nights for a little while. I may move them to Monday or Saturday some of the time. I'm not sure, but I think Tuesday night will be good. And I'm going to do the Suno showcase, y'all haven't heard about that. And I don't think I tagged you by the illusion, but I know you go on there and play a little bit too. So you need to come share some of your stuff with us too. But I put the link today on a post with my Suno account or whatever, so that you can go and check out some of my music. I don't have a lot of things published because I make like 10 or 15 copies of the same song with different music and stuff. So I haven't gone through and sorted out all of the ones I want to actually publish, but I will work on that. But when we do the Suno showcase, everybody is welcome. Anybody who wants to be a part of that, send me an email so that I can get you the link so that you can come up on the panel and be able to share your music with us. I think that's going to be very creative and healing as well, when we get to hear some of the stories about how people got into Suno and what they've learned working with the music and everything. So,
well, there's Nico, and there's Brian, and there's Misha, and there's, I mean, yeah.
And I tried to tag everybody in the first video about it that I could think of. And then I also, I've already gotten a response back from Eat More Pizza. He wants to do it. My friend Star wants to do it.
Good.
A couple other people have said, yeah. Oh, Ashley from Ashes and Embers, she wants to do it. And then another person said they've been doing it on their channel for a couple of weeks. So I'm not sure if that means they're interested in joining, or they might know some people that want to join.
I love this.
I think that's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to that. I just need to figure out, when's going to be a good time to do that. But it'll be on a Monday or a Saturday because I already have those days reserved. Let's see. Majestic Lion Eyes channel. My Nightbot is saying don't put so many emojis, please. It's almost 3 in the morning or at night, wherever they're at. So thank you for coming in. I'm sorry you're so tired, but get you some rest and have a great rest of your night. I'm going to I'll go back and look and make sure I got everybody for the shout out, hopefully.
Yeah, the chat has been really sweet and really kind.
Yes.
So thank you very much.
I appreciate all of you so much.
I know our eyes haven't been on it, but as I glance, it's just, amazing people here.
Yeah. And I feel like I'm going to be supported through this journey, whether people get it or they don't get it, or they need it or they don't need it. I think they will tolerate it from me. So I think I'll be okay. But I will get busy and figure out what we're going to talk about for next week, and I'll get that scheduled and send you the link, and we'll be good to go. And
this was beautiful. Thank you for sharing this with me, and thank you for letting me be part of this journey with you.
I am so glad that you wanted to do it with me. It's not every day you meet somebody that you connect with, and I feel like we've connected. So I'm glad about that. All right, I'm going to say good night.
Good night, everybody.
Everybody
Make today better than yesterday, okay?
That's right. And remember,